All right, guys, we're out here, we're doing the thing. What better time to go over 5 bushcraft tips using only a saw than right now? So, these are the 2 saws I'm gonna use. This is a Silky Gomboy blade on a Sulic 46 frame. So it's one of the most popular bushcraft saws that are on the market. This is the Silky Gomboy 240. But again, this is the Sulic 46 edition of that. And the Agawa Boreal 21, which I think is probably one of my all-time favorite saws. All right, let's get into it. So, what happens if we want to split a log, but all we have is a saw? I mean, we're obviously not gonna just spend all that time cutting straight down through the thing, so what we can do instead is use a little bit of science. So, what we'll do is starting off, we'll try and get you in frame here. So first thing we're gonna do is make one cut half the way down at one of the ends. I don't know if you can see that there, but that right there is my cut. It's about halfway down. Then we're gonna flip it. So this end goes over like that, and we're gonna do the same thing on this side. And half the way down. Now, check this out. We take our piece, and if you look, hold on, we'll grab the other side of it. And if you look, there's 2 halves. It actually splits really good, and this would be a perfect hearth board just by how straight that breaks. All right, guys, here's another tip, this time using the Agawa. Now, sometimes when we're having to cut wood to a specific length over and over and over again, and it's small wood, like think we're trying to use a wood stove out here in your hot tent, what I'll do is I'll place the saw down and I'll grab the piece and I'll use 2 hands so that my hands aren't getting tired at the same time, and it goes really quick. Now, you gotta be really careful that this is steady and it's in your chest and it's not gonna move and slide, but it does work. Another really awesome part about saws is if we have something like this little piece of fat wood here and we want to scrape, some things in the nature we actually want to scrape, not cut, fat wood being one of them. The back side of this blade is a very, very good scraper. And it doesn't just have to be fat wood that you scrape. You can do this with like poplar or really any softwood. It'll work pretty well. Which brings me to my next point. The back side of a saw is one of the best strikers you actually have for a ferro rod. And as you can see, it takes no time at all and you got a pretty decent little fire going. All right, guys, that brings us to our last tip. So a lot of times carrying firewood can be super awkward and it takes 2 hands, but if you have a folding bow saw like this Agawa, what we can do is we can actually just carry all of our wood in one hand by popping all that wood right in the open cavity here, and I'll show you, it actually works pretty good. You can actually get a pretty decent arm load going too, just with this guy. You look at that, that's enough to keep the fire going for a while, and as you can see, it's pretty stable. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the woods.